morning, friends. Thank you so much for being here. My name's David, and I look forward to sharing another practice with you. I was taking some time this morning and just reflecting on what love and kindness means to me. And as I took time to reflect, I can sometimes look back at my life. And for those that don't know me that well, I grew up with a brother and typical kind of family growing up, mother, father, and brother. And sarcasm and tongue-in-cheek were definitely things that we used a lot. And then going to school and college, Air Force Academy too, there was a lot of sarcasm and tongue-in-cheek too. And I feel many times growing up I might have missed the boat a little bit on understanding what love and kindness is. And I feel as we get into our older years in life, maybe not, maybe it's just me, so I'll speak for myself, but wrapping my head around it and having a better understanding what it is and speaking about it and sharing about it, and finding the words in my own voice has become important. So I wanted to share some quotes today that I read that inspires me. They're from the Dalai Lama, and there's so many different teachers out there that teach the same thing. I just find the Dalai Lama's teachings to be relevant for what he has to share, as well as many other teachers. So I'll share what he has and apply that to our practice as we move on our mats today. This is a gentle yoga class, so there's no crazy poses, nothing too difficult for you. If you have some blocks and you have a strap handy, you might find it helpful. But specifically, in discussing present moment times, the Dalai Lama said, hard times build determination and inner strength. Through them we can also come to appreciate the uselessness of anger. Instead of getting angry, nurture a deep caring and respect for troublemakers, because by creating such trying circumstances, they provide us with invaluable opportunities to practice tolerance and patience. And as I read this, I think about people like the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who taught something very similar, that when there is anger, that we always have a choice, and I choose to check in with that choice. I can't even tell you how many times I'll go on social media sometimes and I'll read something and then all of a sudden anger will come up and I might start to write something and post and I'll go, whoa, step back just a little minute here. What am I really trying to convey versus what am I teaching and what am I trying to align with? And I find that stop and pause is a valuable approach, because we can't fight anger with anger. We can't fight hate with hate. I will sometimes, use laughter or joy or something to try to break it up a little bit, but I do know that we can't fight rage with rage. It just doesn't work. It just ends up being a catalyst for something greater and leads to more destruction. And when we see that there are people in this world going through a very difficult time or a challenging time, the last thing that we need to be doing is contributing to that through hate speech or harsh speech or being negative or pushing other people down. It's about lifting other people up. The Dalai Lama said, when we meet real tragedy in life, we can react in two ways, either by losing hope and falling into self-destructive habits, or by using the challenge to find our inner strength. And I see this a lot right now in some of the facilities where I work, in clinics, where when tragedy comes in, some people will begin to lose hope, and that's only because of conditioning that's been in place. It's only because maybe someone hasn't come along in their life that said, here, please, and usher them. We are the first, if you've ever been to church, they have ushers that usher people to the aisles. Well, why can't we do that in day-to-day life? Where do we stop short of helping people and ushering people along and saying, here's a guided place for you to be able to be. Let me help you more often. It is such a, I don't know, the right word's not coming to me right now, but it is just such a liberating feeling to know that we can do that we can help people along. And it also comes down to other people wanting to accept that help. But we come from the right approach, not from a I'm going to push you around approach, but more from a I care about you, I see you as a human being, I know how I would want to be treated in a situation like this, we can begin to usher people and help people through life in a more loving way, not a condescending way, not a hateful way, not an angry way. He said to be kind, honest, and have positive thoughts, to forgive those who harm us and treat everyone as a friend, to help those who are suffering and never to consider ourselves superior to anyone else. Even if this advice seems rather simplistic, make the effort of seeing whether by following it you can find greater happiness. And this is where we turn something that sounds nice and pretty into an experiential practice where we actually start to put it into practice. It doesn't cost anything to be kind to anyone. It doesn't. It doesn't cost anything to be loving and genuine towards someone. And it certainly doesn't cost anything to be truthful to anyone. So practicing that more and more in our day-to-day life, smiling more, helping more, being of service more, asking if anybody needs help more, going outside of our own self, because one way that I've learned to step out of my own head when I'm going through a struggle or through a difficulty is by looking around and seeing where the helpers are. In fact, Mr. Rogers one time said that. He said, when there's tragedy or when there's something taking place, look around for the helpers instead of looking for those that are hurting. Follow that first, because when we get fixated on that which is hurting, we get lost in that fixation. Rather, let's go towards those that may have the faculties to be able to move and help. And finally, before we get going, he said, never give up. No matter what is going on, never give up. Develop the heart. Too much energy in your country is spent developing the mind instead of the heart. Be compassionate, not just to your friends, but to everyone. Be compassionate. Work for peace in your heart and in the world. Work for peace. And I say again, never give up. No matter what is going on around you, never give up. With that said, I'll share some more quotes throughout the practice, but for now I'd like us to get moving. So let's go ahead and begin today. I'd like us to lay down on our backs. And as we lay down on our backs, please bend your knees. Place your left hand on your heart. Place your right hand on the belly. Let the back of the head come down towards the ground. Bring the knees together. Let the shoulders drop down. Let the collarbones spread. And as we practice today, let's practice with some love and kindness towards ourselves. And of course, let's have a little bit of fun too. As we arrive into our practice, let go of your day, let go of your week, let go of what's next and what's to come. Feel the breath, the inhales and the exhales. Connect to the depth of the breath, the pace of the breath, and the balance in the breath. And let's begin to breathe together. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Long, slow, deep breath in. Please fill your lungs all the way up. Exhale, let it go. And again, long, slow, deep breath in, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Continue breathing on your own. And as you breathe on your own, just check in with your body, observe how it's feeling today, any tension, any tightness, soreness, imbalances inside the body. And as we move through our practice, breathe deep, take breaks. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you need to rest today, rest more today. It's okay. It's Friday. Who's putting the pressure on you? Let's set an intention for our practice today. If you have a personal goal, intention, something that you're working on, letting go of, begin to focus on it. And please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the navel rise, chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine. Relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Hold your breath at the top of the inhale. Sip in once, sip in twice, sip in 3 times. Hold the breath at the top. And as you hold the breath at the top, roll the eyes upwards, begin to focus on your intentions, see them happening, be clear, be specific with them. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let it go. Smooth breath in. Exhale, let it go. And let's do an Om if you'd like to. Inhale. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Gently release the arms down along the sides and start to lengthen your legs forward. You gotta Om, friends. It's like peas and carrots. It's a good way to start practicing getting to know your own voice and the judgments we also hold over our own voices. Start to move the fingers, move the toes, circle the wrists, circle the ankles. And sometimes where we miss the mark is that we don't have enough love and kindness to our own self, how we talk to ourselves, how we speak to ourselves, even the thoughts that we have about ourselves. Good, opposite direction with the wrists and the ankles. You know, in our own life, it's understanding how we speak hatefully to ourselves, how mean we are to ourselves, what sort of negative talk tracks we have in our own heads, because that's the stuff that we carry around with us. That's the stuff we hold in our facial features too. Body language. Release the arms down along the sides. On an inhale, please sweep the arms up and over the head. Slowly take your time. Exhale, arms down along the sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head. Palms, fingertips touch. Exhale, arms down along the sides. And again, inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head. Palms, fingertips touch. Exhale, arms down along the sides. Slowly, on an inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Interlace the hands. Press the palms to the wall that's behind us. Point the toes forward. And I can say this, one thing that I've learned about love and kindness is it is about slowing down. When I reflect back to when I was 30 through 35, when I first started practicing yoga, I mean, I was still into partying. I was driving motorcycles as fast as I could down Sunset Strip, doing wheelies, in the middle of the night. I mean, just when you're in that state of mind still, and it takes time, I feel, to get out of it, you're not fully aligned with love and kindness. You're really just in a space of what's all about you in that moment. And I totally get it. I understand understand. It's about breaking free also from these things. But when I look back at my old yoga practice, take a deep breath in, lengthen and reach. Exhale, arms down along the sides. Everything I was doing in my life was quick too. I was doing really hard practices. Flex your feet on the inhale, arms reach up and over the head, opposite interlace of the hands, press the palms. I was doing really difficult practices all the time. I wasn't slowing down. I wasn't really getting to know my body in a restorative type, rehabilitative type way. It was just one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And so for those practitioners that practice regularly out there, I truly recommend to mix your practices of strong flows or hard workouts, if you're more of a workout person, with a slower, more mindful practice. Take a deep breath in, lengthen and reach. On the exhale, release the arms down along the sides. Slowly bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock side to side. And I feel you have to kind of go through that phase at some point in life. And for everybody, it looks different. It's not to compare our phases to anybody else's phases. It's just recognizing, maybe we're a little off somewhere, and that's okay. Coming back towards center. Lower both feet down towards the ground with bent knees, arms down along the sides. Rooting to the soles of the feet. On an inhale, lift your hips upwards towards the sky. Exhale, lower the hips down towards the ground. Inhale, lift the hips upwards towards the sky. Exhale, lower the hips down. Inhale, lift hips upwards towards the sky. Exhale, lower hips down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift the hips upwards towards the sky. Exhale, lower hips down. And inhale, lift the hips upwards to the sky. Exhale, lower the hips down. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Keep the left knee bent. Point through your right toes. As you point through the right toe, shoulders down the back, collarbones spread, elbows in. Long, slow, smooth breath in. Exhale, let it go. Deep breath in, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. And long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Slowly lower the right foot down, and then bring your left knee into your chest. Opposite interlace around the left shin. As the left thigh draws in, point through your left toes, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhaling. And one more. Inhaling. Exhale. Slowly lower the left foot down. As you lower the left foot down, bring both feet together. Take your knees wide apart. Take your hands to the tops of the thighs. As you take your hands to the tops of the thighs, gently press your thighs towards the wall that's in front of you. Lower back releases. And in talking of loving kindness, I feel that it is a lifelong journey to understand what it is. And everybody's at where they're at with it. I even have to be careful sometimes about, it's not about to thrust it in front of somebody's face. It's more just beginning to understand what it is through our own interactions with ourselves. How am I treating myself lovingly today? From the minute you get up in the morning, what are some things you do to treat yourself in a loving, kind way? And where does that start to die off as we start to interact with one another or family? And where does it start to pick back up again? I can say this, that living now with 3 children and Shelley, that kids and family and partnership definitely teaches you to be on your game more with it than not. Because if we aren't aware of what we're doing, then it ends up parlaying and translating over to our partners and our loved ones and our children too. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Release the hands. Slowly bring the knees together. And as you bring your knees together, please cross your right ankle over the left knee. And then interlace the hands behind the back of the left hamstring. Use your right forearm to gently press the inner right thigh away from you. Flex both feet. And it's important to practice loving kindness, not out of as a tool for manipulation, because that's just gross. And it's negligent, and it's not truly being thoughtful or mindful if we're practicing, a fake love or a fake kindness just because we want to get something in return. No, it's about doing it because it's the right thing to do, because it's sometimes the most difficult thing to do. For many people, to speak words of anger, to speak words of hate, and to instantly react, well, that's the autonomic reaction. But to pause and reflect for a moment, to understand why a person, and what perhaps our contribution to it is. Sometimes we are contributing, sometimes we're not. We're just a bystander. But again, if we can be of loving help, then maybe we can start be of loving help and to promote that rather than continue down a path that may be on the more ignorant side. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, letting go. And I'm certainly not saying I have answers. All I know is that it's a practice, but it gets better with practice. Slowly lower the left foot down. Uncross the right leg. Lower the right foot down. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh, and then bring your right thigh in toward your chest. Left forearm to the inner left thigh. Flex through both feet. I was talking with Shelley the other day about how I saw a post from 2009 where I just started talking about being kind and giving and volunteering and helping. But I hadn't quite, it was talking about it, but not quite putting it to practice in my own life. It sounded like a good idea at the time, but it wasn't really me fully putting the time in and work in to understand and create a reality of that for myself and for others around me. And so I say that because that was 11 years ago, and it takes time. And I'm still learning things every day. I don't have this thing down pat at all. It's important to start bringing it up and discussing it and talking about it. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. And deep breath in. Exhale. Slowly uncross the leg, lowering the right foot down. If you have a strap, please grab a strap. If you don't have one, that's okay. Take your right foot, bring it in, place a strap around the right foot, take the right leg upwards. Flex the right foot. Press the right heel up, breathe into the back of the right hamstring. And if you don't have a strap, it's okay. Interlace the hand behind the right hamstring and just take the leg upwards. That works fine. As you press your right heel up, take your right hip away from your right shoulder. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. And if this feels good, start to lengthen your left leg forward, pressing the left heel forward. And a tough one that can come up too is the rationalization of why we shouldn't be loving and kind. And it comes in the form of, well, so-and-so did this, and they did that. And, there is a way of speaking out that isn't hateful. There's a way of speaking out when we really take the time to do the work that isn't harmful to others, but can promote positive well-being. But if we haven't practiced it, then things can simply fly off the handle very easily without us even realizing it, and then we find ourselves in a pickle. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. And deep breath in. Exhale. Awesome. Slowly start to bend the right knee. Lower the right foot down, release the strap, switch sides. Place the strap around the left foot, take the left leg upwards, press your left heel up. And as you press your left heel up, take the left hip away from the left shoulder. Shoulder blades down the back, collarbone spread. And in all honesty, too, I feel one of the reasons why this topic comes up a lot for me is because, yoga is much more than what we do here on our mats. This is just the foundational work. This is the baby step work. This is the learning how to walk work that we do on our mats. That's how I feel anyways. And so what we can do is take this practice from our mats and start working it into our day-to-day life. And in just a few short days, I know that there's going to be some heartache on different sides because there is this is a very explosive period of time for many people, and I'm not here to drag any sort of politics or political beliefs into practice at all, but it's recognizing that beliefs can cause suffering, and the stuff that we hold on to, the anger that we hold on to others can cause a lot of suffering. And so it is being there for people rather than pushing people away. It's holding people up and reminding people of their strengths rather than telling people that they're weak or they're dumb or that they're this, that, or the other. And it's catching ourselves when we do that because we may not even realize it. I mean, I went to a school where on a regular basis, people would walk by you and say, go kill yourself on a regular basis. And I'm assuming that there's policies in place now where that's no longer the case. But, I mean, there was a time in college where I went where we would just constantly rip on each other. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And it was all done in fun and games for the most part, but for the weak that couldn't handle that, oh my gosh, that was incredibly toxic. Take another full breath in. And exhale, let it go. Slowly bend your left knee. Bring your left knee into your chest, release the strap. Bring your right knee into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And as you give yourself a hug, let's begin to rock up and down the length of the spine. As we rock up and down, start to get some momentum. Rock up and down so much. Rock over the feet, come onto your hands and knees, tabletop position. And as we come into a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over the knees, hands open wide, root through palms and fingertips. On the inhale, pull the heart forward, look forward, cow. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine, cat. Inhale, heart pulls forward, look forward, cow. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, cat. Inhale, cow pose, heart pulls forward. Exhale, cat pose, round spine, tuck tailbone. Take it through 5 more rounds. Inhaling. Exhaling. 4 more. Inhaling. Exhaling. 3 more. Inhale. Exhaling. 2 more. Inhaling. Exhaling. And 1 more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Finding a neutral spine. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take our knees wide apart. Bring the big toes to touch. Child's pose. Drop the hips back towards your heels. Crawl your hands forward. Let your chest move down towards the ground. And so, for instance, how do we apply love and kindness to ourselves? In this pose, when you heard the phrase child's pose, what initially came up? Let's break the pose down. Okay, and then so after what came up for you, what sort of sensations came up as you started to move into the pose? Okay, there are some areas in our body where our body might be crying a little bit. There may be some tension and tightness. So what do we do when that shows up? Do we go slowly towards it and breathe into it? Or do we avoid it altogether? And the loving thing to do is not necessarily avoid it, but to place our presence and awareness on what may be hurting. And to be gentle with it. And to slow down in the process and the approach and going in towards it. Remember, this is not a race. Whether it's the physical stretch practice or the living of life, it's not a race. It's more than that. Now, the mind might say, oh, it's a race, it's a human race, it's a race to this. I mean, in one of the quotes I'll read in a moment, in a little bit, the Dalai Lama says, we must face this fact that, we're going to die one day, so why are we racing to that point in time? I mean, take everything in, enjoy it. And in the process, help people along the way enjoy it too. It's not just about ourselves. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. With your next inhale, please walk the hands in, lift the chest up. As you walk the hands in, lifting the chest up, let's sit back on our heels. Tuck your toes and sit back on the heels as you feel a stretch through the arches of your feet. Now, you may need to be up here with your buttocks off your heels. That's okay. But sit back on your heels. We'll start here. It's a great way to stretch our arches of our feet. A lot of times, the shoes that we wear offer way too much cushion and support for us. I'm learning more about shoes right now. I've I've switched over shoes to Vivo Bear. They're a lot flatter. They allow more of a stretching through the arches of the feet. That way, there isn't just this constant comfort in place. I recommend barefoot walking too, if you get a chance to do some barefoot walking. Everybody's body's a little different, so experiment with it, play with it. Some people perhaps need more support than others, but I do know that feet are a major contributor to back pain. And for those of us that have really tight arches and tight feet, I recommend massaging them manually more or walking barefoot more so that way it stretches out. Okay? On an inhale, please reach your arms up. On the exhale, release your hands back down towards the ground. Untuck the toes, tap your feet out. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, start to circle your hips out. And as you circle your hips out, get into your side waist, side back. Roll the shoulders, bend the elbows. Feel into your hips. Go for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Inhaling. Opposite direction. Love and kindness. How can we be love and kind to ourselves through this movement? Watch the way we talk to ourselves. Go for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. From here, root down through your palms, tuck your toes, lift your knees, come into a downward facing dog, and then walk your hands back to meet the feet, coming into a forward fold to the back of the mat. Clasp opposite elbow, opposite hand, sway side to side. You know, in the practice of love and kindness, it's not about plugging our eyes or closing our eyes and closing our ears and shutting our mouths up completely and putting ourselves in an ashram to live there to the end of days. No. I mean, that work is important, and I definitely recommend going to some holy sites, meditating, practicing that, but it's about being an active member in life and a participant in life and dance with life and share that love and joy with life. And along the way, be watchful where we step, be watchful of how we talk, be watchful of how we interact. Have fun, but not at the expense of hurting other people or beings. Release the hands down to the ground, forward folds. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, folding it in. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold it in. And inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold it in, bend the knees, walk your hands back forward into a downward facing dog. On an inhale, please lift your right leg high into the air, look between your hands. Exhale to the best of your ability, step your right foot forward, lower the left knee down, untuck the back left toes. If you have blocks, grab your blocks, otherwise come onto your fingertips and sit low in the hips. Right knee over right ankle, right toes point forward, gaze is out in front of us. firm the right hip in, take your left hip forward. Reach your left toes back. Sit lower in your hips. One of my friends, Kathy Kapliner, I'm so proud of her and what she's been doing. If you live in the South Bay area, she's been doing this campaign called You Are Enough and putting up billboards in Redondo Beach, these beautiful big blue signs with white lettering that says You Are Enough. And it's been amazing to just watch her as she works through her own stuff, to share her love of human beings and worthiness and sharing love and kindness with the world. And I'm always inspired by that, and I'm always also inspired to know that people change if we give them the right tools, if we give them hope, if we give them opportunity. Take a deep breath in, lift the chest up. Exhale, take the hips back, lengthen through the right leg. Because it's not about keeping love and kindness and hope and opportunity just to ourselves. No, once we receive it, then it's about helping others. Otherwise, we're just selfish. And there's only one direction that goes, selfishness. And I'm not talking about the band One Direction. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. And long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. Walk your hands forward, bend into your right knee. Sit low in the hips, lift the chest up, look forward, inhale. And on the exhale, if you have blocks, place them off to the side, plant your hands, tuck your back left toes, lift your left knee, inhale, sweep the right leg up and back, open your right hip up. And on the exhale, lower the right foot down to the ground. Inhale, lift the left leg up, look between the hands. Exhale, step the left foot forward, lower the right knee down, untuck the back right toes. Again, onto the blocks, lift the chest. And I mentioned my friend Kathy because she started a nonprofit that's focused on You Are Enough. And she asked me to be a part of it, and I'm really excited to be a part of it because having another platform to be able to share a message of love to me is so important. And you don't have to be a hippie in order to, sometimes we get caught up in this, oh, only hippies talk about that stuff. No, I'm a normal person too. And to just bring it into our life more often than not, and not be afraid to talk about it, even if it seems taboo or difficult. It's about finding our own voice. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, sit into the hips. Full breath in. Exhale, sit into the hips. One more deep breath in. Exhale. With your next inhale, take the hips back and lengthen through your left leg. Flex your left foot, press the left heel down, draw the left hip back, right hip draws forward. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, folding over your left leg. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, folding over your left leg. inhale. Please bend back into your left knee. Sit low in the hips. Look forward. Take one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, place the blocks off to the side. Plant the hands on the ground. Tuck the right toes. Lift the right knee. Inhale. Sweep your left leg up and back. Open your hip up. Exhale. Lower your left foot down. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in your downward facing dog. Exhale, let it go. Let's get into our hips. On an inhale, lift the right leg high, look between the hands. Exhale, single leg pigeon, draw the right shin towards parallel with the front of the mat. Reach the left toes back. As you reach the left toes back, square the hips. Inhale. Exhale, walk your hands forward, fold in. As you fold in, left hip rolls down, left rib cage rolls down. Maybe walk the hands forward a little more. And there are many subtle areas in life where we can put our focus on love and awareness, that when we start to come into alignment with them, that love and awareness begins to permeate everything else. And the one thing that I've always appreciated about the yoga practices is just the basic system that's set up there, just practicing. It doesn't mean we have to be right at it all the time, but just practicing things like nonviolence, practicing honesty and truthfulness, practicing non-attachment, practicing conserving our energy and watching where we put it and where we misdirect it or direct it. In time, the more that we practice and the more that we view these things on a regular basis, it becomes a mantra to live by. Love and kindness. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. And sometimes I'll look back in my life and I'll go, well, that wasn't very loving of me. And then there's just the practice of forgiving ourselves. Like we probably knew better, but we just didn't go by that. But that's okay. We can't change the past. What can we do now in the present moment to make things better? Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. And a good way to work with things like fear, because fear can sometimes be an absence of loving kindness. Because if someone would have been there to help us through some fears earlier in our life, we wouldn't be holding them to this day. And so dissolving fears with loving kindness is important too. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Walk the hands in. Lift the chest up. Root through the palms, tuck the back left toes, lift the left knee. Inhale, sweep the right foot up and back, open the right hip up again. Exhale, lower the right foot down. Left leg, inhale, lift left leg high. Exhale, single leg pigeon, draw the left shin towards parallel with the front of the mat, lower the right knee, untuck the right toes, reach the right toes back. Square the hips with the front of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Watching areas in our lives where we retaliate. And retaliation is usually not out of love and kindness. And any time I can look back at my life where I retaliated, it wasn't because of love and kindness. It was because I was hurting and somebody hurt me. Because there was something inside of me that either had an attachment or perhaps wasn't fully developed that created a trigger that came up. And so the reaction was the way it was because it wasn't looked at. And that's the case for most people. And so watching where that retaliating mind wants to come up and try to get back or try to fight back, rather than accept and then come back to the practice of love and kindness, well, what's the most loving thing to do? If I'm being treated this way, what's the most loving thing to do in this moment? Crawl your hands forward a little bit more. And that's where the work is, and that's why it's difficult. It's not easy because the easy part is to do what we're so used to, perhaps, which is the retaliation. The hard part is to transmute and transgress that desire to retaliate, to do something more love and kind. Perhaps ask. Perhaps make a deeper connection, forge deeper connection. I'm still working on that myself too, but I know that it works through practice. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Long, slow breath in. Sigh it out. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Walk the hands back in. Lift the chest up. Tuck your back right toes. Lift your right knee. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Open the hip up. And on the exhale, lower the left foot down. Downward facing dog. Good. Slowly lower the knees down towards the ground. Come onto your buttocks. And take the legs out in front of you. Shake the legs out. As we shake the legs out, flex through the feet, curl the toes back towards the nose on an inhale. Reach the arms upwards. Exhale, reach out and over the legs, folding in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. As we fold in, the hips reach back, the inner thighs press down, the heels press forward. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. Forward fold. And as we forward fold, just sharing some more quotes. The Dalai Lama said, "I believe compassion to be one of the few things we can practice that will bring immediate and long-term happiness to our lives. I'm not talking about the short-term gratification of pleasures like sex, drugs, or gambling, though I'm not knocking them, but something that will bring true and lasting happiness, the kind that sticks." And I can certainly say, having experienced all three, sex, drugs, and gambling, that that short-term gratification, yeah, it's great, that short-term, that instant, that temporary, but what follows it isn't that healthy after all. And unfortunately, and this is how addicts develop, is that we start to get attached to that temporary feeling, and we suffer because we chase the temporary rather than doing the work, which is the practice. It's a daily practice of just practicing compassion, practicing happiness in our own lives, bringing happiness to others. It truly is lasting if we connect to it. With your next inhale, lift the chest, shake the legs out. Let's bring the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Rotate your chest towards the left leg. Arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, fold over your left leg. And he said, "Look at children. Of course they may quarrel, but generally speaking, they do not harbor ill feelings as much or as long as adults do. Most adults have the advantage of education over children. But what is the use of an education if they show a big smile while hiding negative feelings deep inside? Children don't usually act in such a manner. If they feel angry with someone, they express it, and then it is finished. They can still play with that person the following day. And this is so important because just because we may be highly educated, have multiple degrees, and this, that, and the other, doesn't mean that we are profoundly enlightened. Some are. But there's many times that there are adults that walk through this life that are holding a smile on their face only to cover some inner, deeper hurts that are there that haven't quite been worked out yet. And in knowing this, it is so important to practice compassion to every face that we walk by, to practice love and kindness as much as possible, saying hi to people in the aisles, saying hi to people in the clerks, in people of service, asking people how they're doing. On an inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale. Take your right leg forward, shake the right leg out, then switch sides. Bend your left knee, sole the left foot, inner right thigh, turn towards the right leg, flex the right foot, inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, fold out and over the legs, fold in. He said, you must not hate those who do wrong or harmful things. But with compassion, you must do what you can to stop them, for they are harming themselves as well as those who suffer from their actions. You must not hate those who do wrong or harmful things, but with compassion, you must do what you can to stop them, for they are harming themselves as well as those who suffer from their actions. You know, and it's understanding the internal tilt meter we have as human beings and where that meter's starting to go tilt. If you ever seen like a pinball machine, if you ever try to pick it up or try to make the ball move around, a light will start flashing that says tilt. It's understanding when we get to that point where we're tilting over and moving into rage and hate and anger, and catching that when that happens and asking ourselves, is this who I really am? Maybe in the moment that's what we're identifying with, but I know in the heart of it all, it's not who we truly are as human beings. I'll have hate and rage come up inside of me as a feeling, but I don't have to let it out. I can put my awareness on it and dissolve it if I choose to. And this is about taking dynamic choice over our birthright of life. Take a full breath in. Exhale, fold in. With your next inhale, please lift your chest up. Exhale, take the left leg forward, shake the legs out. Let's bring the soles of our feet together. Take your knees wide apart. As you take your knees wide apart, hands on the soles of the feet. As I mentioned about massaging your feet out, take some time right now and just touch your feet. Massage them. Doesn't mean you have a fetish just because you're touching your feet. It's part of your body. Like, learn your body. Get to know your body. Every little nook and cranny. Understand where you think gross parts are. You know, it's a good practice to learn to develop. Understanding your own body. Understanding your own thoughts about your body. Which parts do you think are gross or disgusting? And recognizing, too, that a lot of that is conditioned. The human body is the human body. It's funny, when you hold a baby in your arms, you don't think that there's anything gross about it, yet somehow, some way in life, along the way, we've discovered that there's somehow gross things about ourselves. It's all a part of life, even using the restroom, okay? It's just what it is. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lean forward, folding in. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily a dinner conversation either. But, you know, consider the party that you're surrounding yourself with and talk away as it makes sense for you. He said, the Dalai Lama said, there's only one important point you must keep in your mind, and let it be your guide. No matter what people call you, you are just who you are. keep to this truth. You must ask yourself, how is it you want to live your life? We live and we die. This is the truth that we can only face alone. No one can help us, not even the Buddha. So consider carefully what prevents you from living the way you want to live your life. And I know that the things that prevent me from living the way I want to live my life is hate. When I know that hate comes up internally, I know that I'm not living in my truth. I know when anger comes up, I know it's a part of the human experience and emotion, but I also realize that I'm not fully living in my truth. And so recognizing when those things come up, it's not to block it at all. So I'm not here to block hate or anger coming up inside of me, but I am here to recognize before it turns into something much greater. On the inhale, lifting up. And it's also important to teach that. Switch to cross the legs, As you cross the legs, place the hands on the knees, palms face down, and start to circle the head out. And the Dalai Lama said, if we think only of ourselves, forget about other people, then our minds occupy a very small area. Inside that small area, even tiny problems appear very big. Start to roll your shoulders out. But the moment you develop a sense of concern for others, you realize that just like ourselves, they also want happiness, they also want satisfaction. When you have this sense of concern, your mind automatically widens. Start to circle your spine out. At this point, your own problems, even big problems, will not be so significant. The result? Big increase in peace of mind. So if you think only of yourself, only of your own happiness, the result is actually less happiness. You get more anxiety, more fear. Think about others. Go outside the box of comfort. Understand, and if you came to my class earlier this week, I talked about Zig Ziglar and the flea trainer, but understand how we cage ourselves in by our own way of thinking. When we're left to just our minds, it can be a lot of trouble. With your next inhale, please rise back up. Exhale, switch the crossing of the legs. Other shin on top, hands on knees, palms face down, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, circle the head in the opposite direction. Roll your shoulders out. Say to yourself more often, I love myself. Even if you don't know what the true self is just yet, just start saying it. It's just a practice. See how it makes you feel saying that stuff. Is there a, oh God, no, this sucks. Circle the spine out even more. Or is there a welcoming? Is there a, yeah, you know what? I am lovable. It's okay to be lovable. It's okay to express lovability to the rest of the world. Doesn't matter what they think. As you circle, work into your lower back, side waist. It certainly helps to smile more too. It may start off first as a little bit of a fake smile, as a trying smile, but over time it does get better. Good. Take one more round. And with your next inhale, please rise up. Exhale, let it go. On an inhale, reach your arms upwards towards the sky. Interlace the hands, press the palms. Wrap your triceps biceps forward, shoulder blades press against the back. Take the pinky edge of the hand towards the back wall, to the wall that's behind you. And lift your chest up a little more. But, we have to go through life, and we certainly, I feel for a little bit, for some of us, we have to experience tragedy, we have to experience loss, we have to experience heartache in order to understand this. And it's not to push that stuff away, it's not to practice unavoidance either, because the more that we try to avoid something, the harder it's going to come at us. At least it feels that way. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, float the arms down along the sides. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach the arms up, opposite interlace of the hands, press the palms upwards, lift the chest, spread through the collarbones. Take a full breath in. Exhale. And one more deep breath in. Lengthen, reach, extend. And on the exhale, float the arms down along the sides. From here, let's uncross the legs. As we uncross the legs, let's make our way onto our backs. As we make our way down to our backs, bring both knees into your chest. And then lower your feet to the ground. If you have a block handy, grab a block, place the block underneath your buttocks. Cactus the arms, palms face up. Palms face up, the collarbones spread. Just let the tailbone buttocks relax. And if you don't have a block, that's okay. Lift your hips up, interlace your hands underneath you, come into a bridge pose. Love and kindness. I choose love and kindness today. I choose to watch and be more observant when words other than love and kindness emanate from me. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Please take your legs upwards towards the sky if you feel like it. If you're still in your bridge pose, you can lower your buttocks down and just take your legs up. Point through the toes. And I'll be honest, would it be nice to be in an ashram and have a place to have where I can just, be away from the world and, in the world but away from the world and just talk about it all the time? Absolutely, 100%. And who knows? I'd love to manifest that one day, to have a space to go back to, but I feel it's also important to be able to be an earth walker and to really walk around the earth and speak of this topic, and to do so in a caring, nurturing way as much as possible. Take a full breath in. Exhale, bring the knees into the chest, and also encourage others to speak up about it too. Lower the feet down towards the ground. Lift the hips, remove the block, inhale. Exhale, lower the buttocks down. Bring your right knee into your chest, please. Left leg goes long. Slow inhale, flex the feet. Exhale, twist across the body over to the left. Right arm reaching out to the right, right palm face up, right shoulder down. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, twist. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, twist. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, twist. On an inhale, please bring your right knee back into your chest. Bring your left knee into your chest. Right leg goes long. Inhale, flex the feet. Exhale, twist across the body over to the right. Left arm goes out to the left. Left shoulder down, left palm face up. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, turn and twist. slow, deep breath in. Exhale, turn and twist. Long, slow, deep breath in. And exhale, turn and twist. Awesome. With your next inhale, bring your left knee into your chest, bring your right knee into your chest. Give yourself one final hug and a squeeze. Maybe even crack a smile. Take a full breath in, fill lungs up. Sip in a little more air. Hug it all together into a tight ball. And on the exhale, release everything down towards the ground. Shavasana. Close your eyes. This is the most important pose of the practice. We do all the work in order to get to this place, so please do not skip it. Utilize this time. Be here now. Shavasana. And bringing awareness to the breath, to the body, to the inhales and exhales. Begin to slowly move the fingers and toes, circle out the wrists and ankles. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Turning the head to the left and to the right. Opening and closing the mouth. With a long inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Give yourself a long stretch. And on the exhale, release the arms down along the sides. Placing a gentle bend in your knees, please roll over to your left side. Use the right hand, press yourself up, and come into a comfortable seated position. As we come into a comfortable seated position, placing the hands over the heart. Sharing one final quote from the Dalai Lama. He said, "Every day, think as you wake up. Today I'm fortunate to be alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use all my energies to develop myself, to expand my heart out to others, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I'm going to have kind thoughts towards others. I'm going to not get angry or think badly about others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can." when our minds and our hearts are focused on this type of work, we make space for it and push aside all those other thought forms that get in the way, all those other obstacles that we create for ourselves. We are the catalysts. We hold the torch. We hold the light. Now it's about shining that light to others and helping others see that light within themselves. Let's finish the practice with an Om. Inhale. Inhale. Fill the lungs, lift the chest. Exhale, bow the head down towards the hands, honoring yourselves, your practices, for showing up on your mats. We honor all of our friends, families, loved ones, and supporters in gratitude for the many gifts, blessings, and abundance that's in our lives today, and in gratitude to the teachers and guides that came long before us and walked before us who passed along these practices called yoga. Release the hands down, open the eyes, lift the chins. Thanks so much, everybody, for practicing with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. If you need anything at all, reach out. I look forward to seeing you next week or in class. Ho'oponopono, aho. Namaste, friend.